If you operate a Mercedes Sprinter 2500 cargo van for business, tire choice affects more than ride comfort. It affects braking distance, downtime, fuel economy, and cost per mile. In this video, I'll actually break down what works for commercial delivery use, what I personally ran, how long they lasted, and what I paid for in my marketplace. When I first bought my Sprinter 2500, I wasn't thinking about tire engineering. I personally needed for my business use for local delivery something that was reliable and that could handle my business needs. But over time, I've learned that there are a few things that owner operators should prioritize when you have a Mercedes Sprinter cargo van 2500. Number one, load rating. I have a high roof cargo van. Even when it is empty, it is still a heavy load. Now, if you add cargo to your van, you're putting serious weight on your tires. Now, here's an important thing here. If your tires are not built for a commercial load, it flexes more, heats up more, and most importantly, it wears out faster, costing you more. Number two, when considering tires, is longevity. For business use, if you are using this for over the road or local delivery like I am, so I do a lot of stop and go, it's not about the cheapest tire. It's about the cost per mile. This may shock you, but a tire that lasts 65,000 miles plus or more is often cheaper long term compared to a tire that only lasts 30,000 miles. The third thing that you should consider is heat when you're getting tires. Now, if you're in a hotter climate, like I am down south, or you got people who are in Arizona, or if you're doing a lot of over the road, local delivery, whichever one that is, you have to factor that in your marketplace. And when you are getting tires and extending the life of your tires, and most importantly, what this channel is about is saving you money. So with heat resistance under a load, long highway miles with weight in the back of your Sprinter cargo van creates heat. Commercial rated tires are built to handle that stress better. And this is why this is so important when you're picking the correct tires for your high roof Sprinter cargo van. And that's what I started paying attention to when I have to factor in what's the best tire for my needs in my local marketplace. I want to share with you, it's not about the height, it's about durability. Okay, it's about keeping your wheels moving on the road. That's the most important thing. Now, my first set of tires were Michelin tires, and they lasted over 65,000 miles. Okay, so this was a lot of stop and go city miles in the southern heat. We probably, I would say about 6 to 7 months of, heat. Now, with the loads that I would have, I would do, these huge televisions, or, people wanted me to deliver their couches, or, I did a lot of catering orders and stuff like that. And so I put the Michelin tires that I use to great use. And I was probably doing about, with those first 65,000 miles, I'm doing anywhere between 300 to 400 local deliveries in a month. All right. So that lasted throughout the year with just those one set of tires. The thing that I want to share with you is that didn't happen by accident. It happened because of the tire quality plus the maintenance that was combined with that. But like I said, most importantly, when making these decisions, you have to factor these things in based off of your business use. A quick interruption. It is finally here. You all have asked, and now I have delivered. Sign up for my email list below, where you will have access to free workshops where we will be discussing marketing and advertising strategies to increase revenue for your cargo van business, how to create a website for your cargo van business, how to come up with simple and easy creative advertisings for your flyers and business cards to lead with your clients and future clients to generate more revenue and traffic, and most importantly, word of mouth. I told you all before, the number one mistake that new cargo van business owners make is not collecting data. We're going to bring all of this together so you can print money in your local marketplace. Sign up below. It is free to have access to free workshops to increase your value in your local marketplace with your cargo van business. Sign up below. Now, back to the video. Okay, so what I paid for in my market for the 4 sets of Michelin tires, it totaled to $1,500. All right, so that included the mounting, the balancing, and the disposal of the tires as well. So when you divide that over 65,000 miles, the cost per mile was actually pretty reasonable. And these tires, I got them from the dealership. Okay, so again, we have these discussions with the independent shops versus the dealerships. Have I used independent shops before? Yes, and I also use the dealership. So again, it's going to be based off of your market, the relationships that you have with the staff at your local marketplace. And like I said, all of these things are very important because you are using this for commercial business use, so you need the best tires, and you need a staff that's going to put you first, because if they're putting you first and taking care of you, you're going to come back to them for business. So you have to factor these things in when you are getting tires for your high roof Sprinter cargo van. You want to go the cheap route or the expensive route. But like I told you all before and how I broke it down to you, if you get cheaper tires, let's say the cheaper tire lasts 20 to 30,000 miles, well, now that's more downtime. All right, now with downtime, there's loss of revenue. You have to factor these things in when you have cheaper tires. Now you got more alignment wear. Now you have to factor in more brake wear. So all of these things start to add up, so if you want to be cheap for something that you're using for commercial delivery use for your business, and this is what's generating your income, it could cost you more on the back end. So it's best to just pay up front and just maintain everything, and you will have a better experience. And like I said, most importantly, this is about what's durable. All of these things you have to factor in when you are making that purchasing decision on protecting your investment. Again, Sprinter vans are a great investment for your business. Okay, and you have to look at everything from a perspective of how can I not only protect the Sprinter van, but yourself from other stress. All right. So all of these things are major factors in your decision for keeping your Sprinter van on the road, whether it's for over the road or local delivery. And like I said, most importantly, a lot of people don't factor in the heat. All right, so if you're in a much hotter climate and you have heavier loads, you have to factor all of these things in. And from my experience, the best tires for commercial use, for delivery use, are going to be the Michelin tires. This isn't an ad. This is from my experience. When I use Michelin tires, I get a longer, that they last longer. Now, even the best tires won't last if alignment and rotation aren't handled properly. Uneven wear, steering pull, front end stress, and premature brake wear. If you want to get 60,000 plus miles out of your Michelin tires, in the next video, I break down exactly how much a tire rotation and an alignment cost for the Mercedes Sprinter 2500 cargo van, and why skipping it can cost you thousands. Watch this next video here. And if you haven't seen that one, watch this next video here for the 2025 maintenance cost for my Sprinter cargo van. Watch this one here for the tire and rotation, and watch this one here. Thanks for watching. Safe travels out there on the road, and I will see you on the next one.